Getting ready for the live. Hey, everybody. Good to have you on board. What a system today. A lot of new information to pass along to you. Your afternoon update, including forecasts, everything coming up right now. Thanks for joining me, meteorologist Hutch Johnson. The warning for some counties has expanded. Hutch's hunch not too far off last night. A complete forecast, hour-by-hour detail on winds. A latest look at roads. Your reports, your photos. It's all coming up in this version of Hutch's Weather. Stick around, would you? And bring your questions. That's part of what makes Hutch's Weather, Hutch's Weather. Thanks for watching.
Now, a Hutch's Weather Update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Brought to you by Robert Gibb and Sons.
All right, we're going to start with a look at those wind gusts that are now starting to pick up out here near Miles City, Montana, Billings, Montana, still rocking at over 40 miles per hour. And those winds are really picking up and crossing the border. Expected those around the midday hour. They're a little bit late getting going, but they've been cranked up in parts of Montana. 30 mile per hour gusts now in Fargo. Check out the temperature difference across the region right now. As we take a look, we've got 32 degrees in Jamestown. Warm enough for many areas of ice to really start melting. So we're seeing some improvement on roads, but it's really deteriorating here and staying quite slippery. Fargo, Grand Forks, Bemidji, and down towards Morris, northeast South Dakota, also quite slippery. Hi, Nathan. Thanks for joining. Drop a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. How much snow do you have? Hutch measured 2 inches. I got more reports to share from you, but let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on with regards to the radar as well. I can tell you from driving around town today that there's some visibility issues going on across the region, and partially as a result of the wind and the heavy bands of snow, and it's large flakes falling straight down with not a ton of gusts right now in the FM area. So let's get to that radar and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about here. We've got that snow batch working its way from northeast South Dakota right here across the Grand Forks area into Polk County and right through the FM area. Now this radar is showing a little bit of mixing going on, but I can tell you we have just flat out flakes flying here in the FM area. Now when we look out to the west, out in the Rapid City area, we can take a peek at what's going on with these wind reports out there. And here we go. We're getting gust reports of 55 miles per hour in western South Dakota now. So those strongest winds rocking out of southeast Montana and into our South Dakota area right now. Clint Moe, thanks for joining. Hey, Mr. Clint Moe, good to have you. Andy Legg and Kathy as well. Thank you. A lot in Grand Forks, not sure how much. I did get a report. Let's go ahead and take a look at this radar a little closely. Anywhere on the I-29 corridor from the international border through Fargo Moorhead now, very heavy snow in this narrow band right here that's setting up. We did have some icing earlier, and it's ridiculously slippery in east North Dakota and northeast South Dakota, but the storm system is evolving and the heaviest band is setting up about where we expected it to. So there's a shift in that snow forecast. Let me know what you would like to see first, but let's go ahead and talk about the warning that has been expanded. The warning now includes Clay County, Minnesota. We're going to get to that right up top and take a look. Here it is. The warning has been expanded. It does include now the Steele and Trail County areas, as not Cass County for Fargo, but Moorhead and Hawley are in it. Now we have big flakes falling. We have 2 to 3 inches of snow on the ground already in the FM area. From what has fallen so far, it's easy to measure. We haven't gotten a lot of winds, and old Hutch has shoveled a couple of times already. Is Moorhead going to get a blizzard? If this snow stays snow and we don't get the rain to ice it up, then we're going to have a lot of blowing snow into the overnight hours. So yeah, there's going to be a chance for whiteouts, but as far as a blizzard goes, 3 straight hours of winds and 0 visibility is what it takes. There's possibility of that in a few areas. Also, I do want to let you know that that warning has expanded and filled completely through Lakes Country here. So if you are in the Hubbard County area now, you are in a winter storm warning there. If you're in Little Falls, Brainerd, a winter storm warning there. Duluth, winter storm warning. Eau Claire, winter storm warning. Stevens Point, Wisconsin, winter storm warning. The northern reaches of the metro area in and around the Twin Cities, Lino Lakes, in a winter storm warning. And again, looking at Fargo, Castleton in a winter weather advisory, and that is a look at the warnings update for you. Now we're moving on here to a couple of things I want to let you know about, and thanks to all of you joining on Hutch's Weather app. So thank you very much. I got to send something out to all my subscribers as well here. And it's multitasking, right? So there we go. All right, everything was sent. We're good to go. Now let's take a look at the next thing, and that's your photos and a little bit of detail about the FM area. A lot of schools have been closing early, letting out early, or flat out canceled. Here is a look at what's going on across the region. And this is a drive report in the FM area and Moorhead. There you see we're in and around the campus on 8th Street. It looks like moving southbound there on the 8th Street as you go through greasy roads. Let's take a look at I-94 here from this view. Now, as you take a look, you're going to see that those roads are completely covered with snow and the flakes are coming down. One thing you can do to see how far you can see, you got to be careful. Maybe have a partner in the car do this. See the farthest thing your eye can make contact with. What can you see and how far is it? Take a look at that point and then look at your odometer when it's safe to do so. Don't do it when you're changing lanes. And watch how much distance there is between where you are now and when you pass the item that you see. Thanks, Deborah, for sharing stars. Terry, thank you much. Snowing in Black Duck, thanks for your report. 4 inches in Perham. Thanks, Holly. I'll pass that along right now to the National Weather Service. And that, I assume, is just getting rolling in your area as well. There's another batch of heavy snow heading toward the Highway 10 corridor as we speak. So passing along a report of 4 inches in Perham. Thank you. I'm doing this in real time here, so I'm sorry about that. For losing my focus just a little bit. So as you see here, as we go around the loop here, we're looking at Interstate 94, and then we looks like we jump back on 29 here, and there it is, 29. So basically, the FM area has reduced visibility from the big flakes. There's snow and blowing snow over the roads right now. Let's take a look at those road reports. Thanks again, but first, now your photos on hutchesweather.com. I've got some new ones with measurements, so thanks to all of you who have contributed. Look at this icy nonsense tomfoolery up here, and that tomfoolery means that's snotsicles and icicles out there. So let's go ahead and take a look at this photo. Was uploaded, and thank you all so very, very much. This is the Enderlin area, Grammy L. Don't go out on this. You're going to fall down. That's not very fun. And thank you for that Enderlin report there just south of the FM area. Solid ice, trapped under ice, as Metallica would say. Now, Grand Forks along Demers, there's 2.5 solid inches of fluffy flakes out there. Thank you for your report. Very much appreciated, Allison. Much appreciated. Thank you. 4-inch report as well from that Perham area. So thanks. Keep them coming. That doesn't look good at all, says Ethan. No, very icy. Now let's get to your road report. So viewer photos, we got a couple here in. I'd love to have more. My computer will dingleberry at me, by the way, when that happens. You can upload your photos right there on hutchesweather.com, but you can also load them up on my brand new app. Hutch's Weather has an app. Search Hutch's Weather in the App Store today. Hutch's Weather in the App Store today. When you find it, and download it, make sure you allow it to track your location no matter where you are all the time, not just when you're using the app. That way, if your phone is sitting on the dash and you're driving into a serious situation, the app will let you know right away. Now, on Hutch's Weather app, you can get the road reports here. So click on that puppy right there, and it takes you to any state or province in our area and the DOT reports there. Here's the latest. There are no more no travel advisories. We've seen improved roads in southern and western parts of North Dakota because of that huge warm up in temperatures into the 40s and 50s in Montana. But we have the snow starting to add up in the Devil's Lake Basin, Highway 200 corridor, and here in northern parts of North Dakota. We can show you some more, and you can do that just by clicking on the hamburger right here. You see those 3 lines? And pro tip, turn those cameras on, folks, and then you can take a look at your expected route. Don't forget to hit the X here to close that screen out. You can see all these cameras. You zoom in with your phone, and now let's see what's going on in and around Grand Forks, heading out towards Emerado. What's it look like on Highway 2? Oh, yuck. All of this thanks to OK Tire on Hutch's Weather app. And if you scroll down, you can get the latest forecast snow accumulation for the area, but you got to press the play button here and it will load that data up and show you the track of snow. Look how close Fargo is to it, folks. Hutch has got his updated forecast, and you know what? That European model looked like it was right the whole time. I'm just going to say that. This one and other models moved it up here, and now it's right back here in our kitchen. We're going to be right on the line in Fargo because I think it's going to stay all snow. Your forecast update coming now. Won't you download the app, drop comments here, let me know, share with friends, and let them know. Hutch's Weather has an app. You can always hit the menu at the top and get back to the home screen. And for your area, when it's tracking your location, when you go to this currents condition page tab, you're going to get a tab for currents. You're going to get a tab for hourly. I love the hourly because what it does is it tells you the type of precipitation, all snow, all snow, all snow. We are expecting all snow in Fargo. The chance of snow will continue until we get around to the midnight hour. When the clock strikes midnight, we're going to start seeing the snow move out. Look at the wind though. It starts rip-a-lacking out here. These are sustained winds, 20 to 30, gusts over that, reducing visibility and causing blowing and drifting snow. Thanks, Patricia, for the comment on the app. Deb, thanks for watching on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Mr. Mission Control. The forecast temperature bands aren't being updated to reflect actual temperatures. It's going to be colder than what the maps say. Mr. Mission Control, please pass along where you're looking at that. If that's on the app, let me show you that all models are a little bit different here. I'm going to go over the model that I know is handling it right. How do I know? Because it's initiating right, and the noon update just came out. Let's get to that hour-by-hour forecast. We've talked about the app, and thanks to all of you who've done that. I've got a list of things. We've got roads getting better, getting worse. We talked about that right here on the app, but I do want to take a minute to give some love to our friends in Minnesota and South Dakota. It's very icy. Northeast South Dakota, no travel advisory there, where you see the pink completely covered roads. Improving, warmer conditions, but folks, it's gusting out of the west-northwest in the Black Hills over 50 miles per hour. Andy Legg says HRRR has moved it all over the place, Andy. It has not been my favorite model in this particular situation. My favorite app, says Jim Jensen, 40 in Cullum right now. How do you forecast this? We got temperatures from near zero to 55 across one state almost. So in Glendive, Montana, Miles City, Montana, we're in the 50s. And we have single digits off to the east of us. That's a look now. In northeast parts of South Dakota, all you got to do on the weather app is move the map where you want to, zoom in. You can look at the cameras here and see what things are doing at the border. So here we go. Road conditions are yucky, and there's a no travel advisory in the yellow areas, and this is what it looks like at Victor, South Dakota. Icy roads. That's because you got freezing rain and sleet early as a storm went through. Hutch was out cleaning the car off. My hair ain't working so good, and I forgot to use the Super Duper Hold North Dakota Super Duper hairspray. Pick some up at a verified location near you. I don't know where that is, but I know they sell it out here. Minnesota. Let's give you some love. We got a big mess going on. Accumulating snow here. Pink, completely covered roads. So you can see where the band is setting up. Fargo, we're on the edge of it. I think Fargo, our areas out towards Castleton have a good shot at seeing some things. Thank you, Christine, for your observation of cancellations on the app. That's something that me and my team will be looking into in the future. There's always room to grow on Hutch's Weather app, but I think that this app is worth keeping on your phone. You know why? Because it has alerts to things that no other app can give you. Now, let's take a look at what's going on Grand Forks and on towards Fisher. There's a look at the roads. We got what are called pillow drifts. You see them? Look so comfortable. You can go lay down on the road and sleep, but don't do that. That's not advisable, and you know it. Now, as you go down here, Red Lake Falls and Point South, look at Plummer. Yuck. Brooks. Yuck. That road condition is pretty icy and mainly snow going on up there throughout the afternoon. Now, as we go down to Interstate 94 east of Fargo, you can see what's going on here. I'm going to scooch the map over. You get into New York Mills. Let's take a look at you. Let's look at what's going on out here near Wadena. Oh man, that's the Highway 71 interchange with Highway 10. And that's slicker than, yucky stuff on the doorknob there. That's just not good. So slippery, icy roads, Highway 10, Interstate 94, as you're crossing down in towards, say, Elizabeth or Fergus Falls. Let's see what's going on. Here's your interstate report between Fergus this is near Fergus right now. You can see it's completely covered. There's your visibility. It's junk out there, and you got to make sure you give the plows room. Don't crowd the plow is a saying. And you know what? If you don't have to travel today, then I would advise you just stay home because the wind is really going to get bad. I do tell you this. We're going to look at that hour-by-hour forecast here momentarily, and this will tell you when things are really going to get at their worst. So stick around. Drop your comments. Jerry says, love the app. Videos haven't been working this afternoon. I do miss the interaction. Oh, missing the interaction on the lives here. That's true. But if you're in your vehicle or wherever you go, you can always get the latest updates from Hutch on the app. And of course, I want you to join me on my lives on my YouTube channel where you can watch in 1080i and drop a comment in real time. Thank you so very much, D. Thank you, Christine, for your sharing of stars. All right. How much in the Bemidji area? Let's go. Let's talk a little bit more, though, about the roads in your area up in Bemidji. So what does it look like as we get up north of, say, the Highway 34 corridor? By the way, look at that sticky nonsense. That's 34 up there by Osage. So that is some nasty looking roads right there. And look at the sticky looking snow that you got. Now, if we get up higher to the north, out of Foston, between Foston and the Bemidji area, pillow drifts, the wind is a little more strong there. These winds are likely coming straight out of the east. And thanks again to my friends at OK Tire for sponsoring Hutch's Road Reports. Okay, getting down into the Solway area, you can see the Highway 2 corridor definitely greasy. How about you up there? Now, if we look into the Badger area, those road surfaces look to be fairly smooth in central Roseau County on Highway 11. But once you get up towards Lancaster and you get out towards, areas like Carlstead, look at this nonsense. Even with trees to slow the wind down, that visibility is trash. So you're going to run into times where it gets bad. And when the wind picks up, it could get a little worse. How's I-90 in South Dakota? Nancy, we did go over that momentarily, but I will dive right back into it. It's easy on Hutch's weather app. I-29 at the border, no travel advised in the Roberts County area there, the Sisseton zone. So from the border, no travel is advised. The road is not closed, but it's very icy, and I'm talking solid ice being reported down there. So as we take a look, let me show you what I mean. I don't have a lot of cameras on the South Dakota side, but I do have some North Dakota cameras, and let's go show you this ice down here by the border. So as you get down here, not far from Foreman, what you're going to see, well, it looks like it's improving a little bit, but you can certainly see on this road on the distance that it's just covered, and it was solid rain. Here you can see you're going to run into solid ice patches there. Some of you will get warming temperatures, allowing this to melt a little bit, but don't be fooled tonight because the north winds take hold. Now, we've got your drive through Fargo. Boom, check. Let's make sure we got everything else. Roads getting worse and improving. We just talked about that. Hour by hour is what we're talking about. And then Hutch's snow forecast. Let's get right to the details on that as well. So first things first, we're going to start with the hour by hour forecast with a high resolution model, but this is not the HRRR. I'm going to switch it over to the model that is what I call initiating right. A little science on meteorology here and how meteorologists pick a model as we look at the first few hours of the model run to see if it looks like what's really going on. And if it doesn't, throw it out with the bathwater, folks, and get to one that looks closer. Why? Because every model has different ways of handling our atmosphere, how they calculate it, how they estimate what's going on between measured points. And that's why, even with these fancy computers, we can have challenges in forecasting. Look at Fargo, staying in the snow through noon. Yep, that was happening with the ice down south. Yep, that happened. This model is spot on. And then, as you take a look at this band of heavy snow, Grand Forks south through Hillsboro, Halstead, right into your kitchen there, Ada, Borup, it looks like you, and just kissing you folks in the Monoman area, getting into Becker County, Otter Tail County, and sneaking into northern Richland County. Staying rain, though, on the other side, and this is the 1 to 2 o'clock time frame now. A brief period of ice and rain cannot be ruled out, but the better chance will be just south of Fargo, and it looks like the snow continues on this line from Bottineau, from Walhalla, from Langdon, from Cavalier. Thanks for loving App Mini. Roy Fletcher, thank you much. Now we're getting to your area. You see this Bemidji area right here, and as you go south into Park Rapids, they're in the heavier snow. Northern parts of your county there, Beltrami County and the Red Lake area, not as much snow chances there. Same thing for central Roseau County. See how good this model is doing with what's going on now? Here's where it changes. The isobars are wide here, not a lot of wind with the snow out in Minneapolis. But when you get up here, start seeing these isobars rocking together. Here, the wind picks up out west, but the roads have been melted a little bit, and hopefully it doesn't flash freeze out there. But where we have snow on the road right here, these north winds take hold as we cross through your dinner hour. And here's 6 p.m. We'll have increasing easterly winds shifting and becoming northerly. Another heavy band with this from an upper level system working its way through is going to push through tonight. So more snow, Devil's Lake, Langdon, Rolla, and you folks up here towards Walhalla. And look at that. If you happen to be in well, I guess we could say Park River, Grafton. The Park River's a better chance in the Grafton area of seeing some more snow. Look at Fargo. We're rocking it here in Fargo. The snow and the wind will be at its strongest as we go between, say, 6 p.m. tonight here in the FM area. I'll back it up to 6 p.m., increasing at 6. And after that, once we start heading into the late night hours, midnight, it starts picking up. The snow we have will blow around unless we get that nice little shot of rain that ices it up. But the wind gusts could be strong enough here, upwards of 50 miles per hour or so, that will work their way through. That's a look. Now, Hutch's forecast snow, I've updated for you. Let's talk a little bit about the ice. We're cutting it off at Fargo. I think we're going to see more snow than ice here. And that means the icing's taking place in the Cheyenne River Valley, southeast North Dakota, where it's already happened. A good 1/10 of an inch already fallen in these areas. Not a lot of additional icing going to go on there. It's going to be mixing with more snow. We could briefly get some ice here in Fargo. So keep that in mind and watch for slippery snot as you're traveling south in southeast North Dakota, northeast South Dakota, and the I-94 corridor in parts of Minnesota and point south. St. Hilaire getting some good snow. Turtle Mountains are getting the strong winds. So we can go back to that in just 1 second to answer your question. Thanks for bringing it up. Here's Hutch's adjusted snow forecast. I think Fargo sits in the 4 to 7. That's where I had us at the beginning, and then I shifted it north, and now it's right back here. Why? This is where the radar's lit, and this is where it's happening, and this is from that same model that I told you about. I'm not scared to tell you it's the FV3 version of the high-resolution model, and it's done great. This is where the heavier snow band is. It does go from basically Brandon, Manitoba, right through you folks in the Cavalier area, all the way out towards Valhalla, Rolla, Rock Lake, Candu. How about you folks in Maddock? You'll be right on that line. North of Devil's Lake, a better chance, but some pretty good snow coming for Devil's Lake, Michigan City, Emerado, Grand Forks, Crookston, all the way through here where you see the pink reaching out towards you in Foston and Fertile. And then you get up here towards Thief River, Big Flake, St. Hilaire. Thank you very much. This model says you'll be close, but in the ramp downward. In the blue, 1 to 4 inches. A rapid drop off from 4 closer to the pink to 1. If you're in the pink, it's a good bet you're seeing 4 inches of snow. Look at Fargo. We're so close to that pink, I think we could see it right there at the border. Northern Cass County, Northern Clay County, a very good chance at being in the 4 to 7. I think we're going to hit 4 in Fargo, judging these flakes and the persistent chance of snow into the evening hours. You go south, we got ice underneath it, and you're getting more snow on top of it, but to the tune of 1 to 4 inches in the blue. So I'm sorry I didn't position that right. It should be in the blue, the 1 to 4. So hopefully, if you have questions, ask now. Danny Anderson, Hutch was right. Hashtag wow. Thank you. You know what? Sticking with that European model would have been good. I want to get back to your question about the St. John's area, light snow. Thanks, Nicole. I appreciate your report. Light snow in Bemidji. Isobars sure don't show much for wind, but I'm not a weatherman. Jared, right now, you're right. But as you go into the evening hours tonight, that's when the higher winds come up. Now, let's take a look at this model that we just had on screen, and we're going to go back to it right now. And what I want to show you with this model here, and again, I'm going to look at the FV3 version of the model, and we're going to take a look at this model and look at the isobars out here. See how close they are together? I'll tell you a rule of thumb. You see Hutch's thumb there? The rule of thumb is this. These isobars are typically drawn every 4 millibars, so you have to double check. Nope, they're drawn every 2 millibars. So that means we got more isobars on this map, but typically meteorologists use a 4 millibar interval. But what we're looking at is change in pressure by looking at these. You can count them across the state. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Divide that by 2, because it should be every 4, and we get 5. Gusts to 50 miles per hour will be supported in the strongest wind zones by this as we go through. So across the width of the state of North Dakota, approximately, you can count the isobars, divide by 2, and where the isobars are the closest, it gives you a good gut feeling about isobars. And there's your lesson on isobars. So these isobars are definitely breezy, to say the least. Are they going to hit 70? Let's look at the wind gust potential on this, because it's not always all about what's on the ground. Air that's just above the ground with falling snow can get mixed down to the surface, so we get some of that upper level energy making its way down. The strongest winds in Montana now will be picking up after the noon hour. We could have a few gusts over 50 to 60 miles per hour. This moves south into South Dakota. You see that as we go through noon. That's where we are right now. Where do the highest winds go? South and outy here. So this shows the strongest winds will be from Bismarck down south to Mobridge, straight into Pierre, Chamberlain, and the I-90 corridor, and missing the Fargo area with the strongest of the winds, and that's good. So to answer the blizzard question, this model's been doing a pretty good job. The strongest winds will be skirting Bismarck and point south. I hope that helps answer your question. How much snow for Thursday? I appreciate that. I don't know how to read that name there because I have a hard enough time with words like is and the, but thank you, FJEIFBW. So thank you very much, David the Fifth. Not whether you would want to bring the Malibu out in. Nope, not the Chevelle or the 56. You got that right. Okay, so that's a look at the forecast for now. Here is a look at the hour by hour forecast one more time in this area. And what we'll do with this is we're going to look at the specifics for Thursday. This model only goes out to about 60 hours or so. So let's get into the Wednesday time frame. Very cold, high pressure. Anybody with heavy snow on it, Wednesday morning and through the day, it's going to be really cold. Let's just put it that way. And then here comes the Thursday clipper. Look at this thing. This thing's dumping some more heavy snow, adding insult to injury, but it looks like it peaks out on the western half of the state with this model that's been doing fairly well. And then there's another system moving in as we go into Thursday night and Friday. So it's a clipper train making its way through the northern plains, and that's what's going on. So we do have snowflakes. They're not as big right now in the Moorhead area. That does the hour by hour. That does the ice and snow. And now it's your turn. Questions, comments, or things you would like to see. I want to make sure I have the very latest for you. The watches and warnings are all updated. Nothing has changed with regards to that I see. I do not see the wind warnings. I think the high wind warning has been dropped for our area. It does look like. Let me show you what I'm looking at here. So there have been adjustments to the warnings in the area, and I'll show them to you now. The warning stretches from northeast parts of North Dakota through northwest Minnesota. The central Red River Valley, just missing Fargo, but Moorhead, you're in the warning. And then if you sneak down here, northern parts of the Twin Cities to Duluth on 35, right into northern Wisconsin, Wausau, and out towards Green Bay, all in that warning. What's the wind like for Lakes Country tomorrow? It's going to decrease as we go into the morning hours, and it's going to get pretty cold as we clear out behind this system. So places with snow on the ground will see temperatures of falling as we go through. Here's a look at Hutch's thoughts on the forecast real quickly. We'll see falling temperatures as we go through the evening tonight once the north winds take hold, once they do. So overnight, we're falling from near 30 and we're on our way down. We wake up at 15 in the morning and we'll see falling temperatures to 9 is my thoughts. Now, the gusts could be as high as 40 miles per hour, 45. We're going to adjust this now based on the new model information that we're seeing. Now that the storm is set up and we found a model that we like. Now, the confidence is higher. Does that make sense? I hope it does. When's the wind supposed to pick up in Grand Forks, East Grand Forks? How much snow for Cullum? Okay, good questions. By the way, some of the coldest air of the season for the Red River Valley comes on the weekend. I've got those highlighted in purple. You do not want to kiss a pole outside in that kind of weather or your lips are going to stick. And that's just a pro tip from meteorologist Hutch Johnson. I know because a friend told me. I bet Pedro hates this. You know what? He keeps wanting to go outside. Thank you much. I appreciate that. Justin, I bet Pedro hates it. Yeah. He makes his trips outside very quick. Let's get back to your question here, though. When's the wind picking up? For that, we'll get right back to your area. I do think that in the Northern Valley, we could have gusts up to about 30 miles throughout the event here. So up to 30 miles per hour from the east. So as we take a look at this, Grand Forks right now, here you go. But if we put the wind gusts right now on, these are gusts, not the measured winds, and you're going to see you're at 30 miles per hour. So through the event, we'll have gusts to from the east at about 30, and then the winds switch around. And look at this. Bismarck has a gust of 60 miles per hour right now. Was that right, or was that a temperature? What the heck was that? Let me see what this says. We'll look at peak gusts. So let's go to peak gusts from my folks at Endon and see what they're measuring across their network. 50 mile per hour gusts, Plentywood, Montana. Get down into the oil patch. Gusts have peaked at 30 miles per hour here. Bismarck, Mandan peaking at 31 miles per hour right now. And right now, Bismarck's airport is reporting a gust of 36 miles per hour, not 60. Must have been a data goof there. Buffalo and in that area here in northwest parts of South Dakota getting gusts of 50 miles per hour. You don't want to kiss a pole, Kathy. Nope, that's good advice, and it's free of charge right here on Hutch's Weather. See, added value every time you watch. Light winds in Minnesota are going to become a little bit more. When does it pick up? We'll go right back to that hour-by-hour forecast to get you that picked-up wind. What you're looking for is close-together isobars. When they get close in your town, then you know you're on it, and you'll have an idea of when the winds pick up in your area. So I'm going back to the model that I like here. Let me bear with me while I switch back to the one that seems to be locked in and loaded and ready to go. Watch your isobars here. Now, they're pretty close together, but that's sustaining winds with gusts up to around 30, and they're sustained in the 20th mile per hour range. So it stays like that through about 6. And then, boom, we start seeing these isobars get real close together in parts of south central North Dakota, Bismarck, and into South Dakota. For Grand Forks, I think you might stay in that 30 to 40 mile per hour gust range briefly as we go through the early evening hours, and then decreasing winds. The wind will be subsiding substantially out in the oil patch by the time we get to 10 o'clock tonight. Then after that, the strong winds pick up in Fargo-Moorhead. You can see right here, isobars farther apart, isobars close together right about here. So as we cross into, say, about 8 p.m., so between, say, 6 and 10 p.m., I've been saying that would be the strongest wind time. Look at these winds ripping through northeast South Dakota and southeast North Dakota. That's going to be some pretty strong winds. You could see some gusts upwards of 50 miles per hour in your zone, and then that's it. The wind and snow then moves off toward the Twin Cities, southern Minnesota in the overnight hours. This is midnight, folks. So at midnight, I've been saying this for a couple days too, the wind speeds should come down. So that is your assignment. I hope I passed with flying colors here. That's what's going on now. I'll look at that radar showing that we do have some snow working its way through the region. Here it is. It's heaviest from Grand Forks straight into the FM area and out toward the east. So Crookston, Ada, all the way down through you folks. Well, let's get you zoomed in so you can read the towns with me. Detroit Lakes, you're on the edge of this, as is Monoman, Nadawash, right here for Foston, Thief River Falls and St. Hilaire. A report from you. Red Lake Falls, thank you much, Nicole. I like A pluses. Those are pretty good, and I appreciate that very much. Now back to what's going on with our conditions. Those temperatures are ridiculous out there right now. And when you're going to see here, 41 in Bismarck, 41 in Miles City, the cooling has begun. It was 50 some degrees in Miles City just a little bit ago, and the winds have shifted, and now the cold air is coming our way. What we see in Saskatoon will begin sliding our way as we go into the late evening and overnight hours. Appears I have some data issues going on here. Fargo not showing up any data, but if I zoom in real close, I might be able to get the Moorhead Airport. Here we go. So Hector might not be showing data right now. 27 is your temperature at the airport in Moorhead, 23 DL for you in Park Rapids, 21 degrees. So very cold. Cold enough for just snow in those areas, and it'll be that fluffy, flyy snow that works its way around. What about White Earth? John Hummingbird specifically, what are you looking for there in White Earth, Minnesota? As we go into northern Becker County here, I anticipate you will be on the heavier side of the snow band. So if you're looking at snowfall amounts, here's Hutch's map on that. Icing, minimal, snow, maximized. The pink area is the band. I've upped Fargo into the 4 to 6 zone here. We're going to have 4 before you know it, because there was 2 inches out there at about 12:30 or more. And now we're looking at a band of 6 to 7 with isolated places picking up to 10 inches. Best chance of that appears to be up near Botno, Langdon, Rock Lake, Can-Do, Walhalla. You won't be far from that. And we could see a couple of enhanced bands as the low pressure system moves back here right into southern Otter Tail County, not far from you folks in Douglas County, Alexandria. And look at this. If you're in the Brainerd Lakes area, Little Falls area, you're going to be right on the edge, but Brainerd, pretty much a sure bet you're going to see some good time snow. I hope that helps. You're very welcome. Light snow in Badger at the area at the moment. Thanks for letting me know. That's good to know. The radar doesn't always show what's going on in Badger. We've talked about why the radar beam angles up and overshoots the top of our snow clouds out there, and we have a hard time seeing them. By the way, the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, and St. Paul, and all them other towns that are mixed on in there, like Egan, and there's just a bunch of them. All these places getting a batch of snow in there, greasing the roads up with all them cars. It's no fun. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. That's been your update. Remember, you can get roads anytime, anywhere on hutchesweather.com, or download the free, brand spanking new Hutch's Weather app. Search Hutch's Weather in the App Store today. You all are the best. You all are appreciated. And I want to cover the weather where you are. So that's why you asking questions is awesome.
This has been a Hutch's Weather Update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching Hutch's Weather.